What another busy night for your Pratte Pack. This is the Pratte Pack's version of the Sands, the club at Shadow Lakes. And they love Titleist, and of course you can get that great gear during the golfing season right here. And they've got a wonderful golf course too. But it is the season, ladies and gentlemen, for a lot of wonderful things. And don't forget the Jaggers, Jimmy Ross and company will be here on New Year's Eve. You can give them a call or click on this Facebook link and find out more. But it's also the season to be thinking about what we have made famous, the Feast of the Seven Fishes, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be happening at Coons Market on McKnight Road on Christmas Eve morning beginning at 9 o'clock. And you know, everybody has their own version of seven fishes. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the big fish who has all the information that you need when it comes to actually either starting or carrying on that great tradition after you listen to our broadcast. So let's open the package. Voila. Art Manji, ladies and gentlemen, the only chef that's got 6 stars. He's that good. Now, what we're gonna do, when the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's amore. We're gonna talk about those 7 fishes. And he did grow up Italian in Monaco. And our mutual friend, Mike, and his brother Dave Halama, Michael's often told me about coming home from school and going to his grandmother's house. And the moment you would open that door, all of the wonderful smells that would, well, come from the basement, because we all know Italians always have 2 kitchens, one for show and one for go in the basement. So let's talk about the Feast of the Seven Fishes and what you believe should be on everyone's mind as far as preparing. Let's begin with the bacala.
The best fish there is. Dried salt cod. You would soak it. My dad says you soak it for 3 days. That takes all the salt out of it. You have to soak it for 2 days. So you take it, you soak it, you boil it, and then we would do 3 things with it. We'd cook some in sauce. You'd take some after you boil it, and then you would fry it in nothing but garlic and red pepper and oil. And then you'd eat all that with the fritters you would make with the bacala. So there's your 3. And the oil and the garlic is great cold.
Okay, now we're going to continue. Now, remember, folks, if you're scoring at home, you may have some fish on your list that we don't, but this is what the king believes to be traditional fish during what is the Feast of the Seven Fishes of Christmas Eve, which is an amazing Italian tradition. Okay, up next, let's take a look at calamari.
Calamari is just basically squid. And you would get whole squids. You have to clean them. Now, even though I grew up in Monaco, we would have to drive to Morgantown, West Virginia for my mom's grandparents. And yeah, they had one. They had a kitchen in the cellar right beside the coal cellar. And so you'd have to clean squid. And you'd have to take the guts out, you have to take the spinal cord, you have to take the little beak out. And we would stuff them. We'd either stuff them with bread stuffing, and then bake them in with tomato sauce, or my grandmother would cut them up and would fry them. So there's 2.
Okay.
2 different kind of preparations.
All right, whiting.
Whiting. Once again, that fish was used in 2 ways. We would bake that would go in the tomato sauce too. That's the last fish that goes in the tomato sauce since it's so delicate. And either that, after it was gutted and cleaned, that would be cut in pieces and fried.
All right, let's kind of do 2 lively ones. And this is old school. Octopus and eel.
Well, my grandmother would take the octopus, she'd blanch it, and once she took it out, then she would beat it. She'd take it out, let it cool down, put it in a bag and beat it to tenderize it and bust up all the muscles that are in the legs. And then it would be baked in tomato sauce.
Was that the only red sauce that you had?
That was the only red sauce, because that would go on like angel hair pasta. And you never got that pasta any other time of the year.
Never.
Never. So you got bacala, whiting, and the octopus and a little bit of squid in it. It's the only time you got it. Never.
Okay, now, this is an eerie story about an eel. But remember, this is a family show. Don't get too descriptive, but I've heard many stories during our Feast of the Seven Fishes of Christmas Eve. In particular, my daughter's godfather, Mr. Joe Piccarelli, who has a 424 Walnut, and he's just an amazing friend. That's a restaurant, by the way, in Swickley. But him actually trying to corral a live eel that was sliding through his hands as his parents were screaming for him to get that eel on Christmas Eve. But you have some fond memories of that wonderful aquatic figure that we all know and love.
Yes, I do. And it was tough as a little kid to go down in the basement and watch your grandfather and father clean this eel. Now, it was never live. I never saw it live. I have to say that. My grandfather would take it and skin it back off the head a little bit.
Okay.
He'd hold it with a towel.
Okay.
Now picture this. 2 men playing tug of war. My father would then grab each side of the eel with like vice grip pliers and pull while my grandfather was pulling the other way and stretching that out. That's one thing I could never eat.
That would make a great scene for The Sopranos.
It would.
Yes, it would. Tony Soprano's Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
And then that was always just baked.
Okay. But what is it? Don't say it tastes like chicken, but what's it taste like?
To me, it's an oily fish, oily and fishy.
I got to be honest with you, and you do wonderful work here, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, but I believe if you're going to really do it, you need to do it. Like you and I said, and I never grew up as traditional as you, but I love the whole idea of what it's about, and I've learned from guys like Ernie Ritchie and Ernie Balazzi and, you know, Tony Celeste and Joe Dentisi and many others, Mr. Michael Young. I think you got to go old school once in a while. So if you can find some eel, you should try some eel.
I'll eat it on sushi nowadays.
But one of the things that you and I both agree upon, I love shrimp, and especially shrimp cocktail. Nobody does it better than this man. But that's not really a fish for Christmas.
That's American seven fishing.
Yeah. Okay, let me just throw out a couple of quick ones, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
How many more? I only have one more.
Yeah, we have smelts.
Yeah, I know that.
We did whiting.
Right.
We did bacala. We did eel.
Calamar.
We did octopus.
Okay, so we'll do the schmelts in a moment.
That's
but
it.
Scallops and tilapia. Just
tilapia, you have to remember, was the fish that Jesus fed the masses with.
Okay.
All right. Remember where he took the fish and blessed the fish? Mm-hmm. A real good friend. His mother makes tilapia because that's what they eat.
Okay.
So
scallops.
I've never seen anybody do scallops.
Really?
Once again, that's
kind of out of the seafood.
That's kind of high price there for us Italians. You know what I mean?
I know. It's like McFish in our neighborhood, folks. You never lived till you had a couple of McFish from McDonald's.
That's
man.
right.
It's good eating. Schmelts. I love schmelts. I can eat them like gumdrops.
You know, my mom and dad were like so particular on that. I've seen people who just take them, gut them, fry them with the fins on them, and fry them with the heads on them. Nah, my mom and dad, you'd have to sit there with scissors, trim the bottom fins, trim the end fins, take the side fins off, top fins. And my dad always went after the freshwater smelts.
Okay.
Because they seem to be bigger and meatier than the ocean smelts. And they really are. And they're great. To me, that's the ones to go after.
Do you still, you cook all day, all night, but do you still do a little bit of this on Christmas Eve?
I'm very blessed. My brother's family still does it.
Really?
Yeah, and it's something I look forward to. Occasionally, during the month, once November hits, I always go downtown, strip, and buy bacala.
It's time. Here comes art.
My daughter and I went to Restaurant Depot the other day and we bought it. And she tried to look at me and she said, "Dad, don't buy a lot of it this year, okay?"
Back up the truck, honey.
Back it up.
All right. New Year's Eve, Jaggers will be here. Listen, nobody puts on a meal like you. It's a feast. The price is right. The entertainment is magnificent. What are you planning for that night?
Well, we're going to be doing, in the dining room, we're going to be doing a separate menu.
Okay.
And that's not part of the Jaggers gig here. We're going to be doing a buffet over here. We're going to do roast New York strip. We're going to do Oriental glazed salmon. We'll be doing a lemon chicken. We'll do a tortellini with lobster sauce. We'll do a fresh vegetable medley. And we'll do a Yukon Gold roasted in olive oil and Italian vanilla. A lot of garlic.
All right, listen. I love you.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you. You're my friend.
Thank you.
All right, listen, they're going to get a little personal right now, but I'll tell you what happened. You know how your mind has a way of taking you places when you don't really expect it. Earlier, while I was waiting for this man to do his magic, and thanks to Dale Cummings, who's done a great job filming this video. He works in the kitchen. He's from Monaco. He's a fine young man, 2014 graduate of that amazing school district that is Central Valley. I was standing in the kitchen eating a bowl of chicken soup, actually two. And it brought me back to my days when I was 19 years of age and the clanging and banging in the dishes of working for Joe Ciro, starting as a busboy at Ciro's Top of the Mall, ending up a waiter in Mater D. Joe is no longer with us, but he was a true Italian, a true friend, and knew this business better than anyone I have ever met. And I am so grateful for all the things that he taught me during my time there. So I just wanted to wish Mr. Ciro a very blessed holiday, and to his family still on this earth. And more importantly, just remember just a few of those building blocks along the way, and he was a block of granite. So, good night. This is the Pratte Pack's version of the Sands. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore. Good night from the club at Shadow Lakes.
Merry Christmas.